Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all. As always, I would like to start off by thanking my front office staff who, tonight and tomorrow now, the culmination of not just the last few weeks, but the past few months and really the past few years of evaluating these draft prospects. And tonight is always an exciting night. Appreciate all the hard work from Wes Wilcox, our assistant GM, Phil Jabor, our vice president of player personnel who runs our draft process day in, day out. Fantastic job from them as always to make us prepared. Obviously coming into tonight with the 13th pick, we've had a lot of possibilities as we always do. But ultimately excited to pick Devin Carter and add him to the Kings, and just the exact type of guy that we always look for. Intangibles on and off the court, the ability to play on and off the ball, play both ends, and frankly just a winner. And so really excited to bring Devin in, and with that I'll take some questions.
Hey, Monty. What do you think about just Devin and first landing on your radar? Obviously, if anyone's watching college basketball, they know who he is. Just how soon were you guys made aware of him, and when you kind of started thinking that he'd be a good fit?
Yeah, multi-year college player. Started at South Carolina before going to Providence, but certainly popped in the past. I think this year in particular took another jump. The kind of the heartbeat of Providence this year. Improved his shot. Somebody who's always kind of popped in both for our scouts and our analysts just because of all the things he does on the floor. But to add more scoring and shooting this year, I think was a big uptick. And but somebody who was certainly on our radar before that.
And are you able to maybe characterize just how the night went for you guys? I mean, I think there was a lot of people who were maybe expecting you to move or have some sort of movement, and maybe how much you guys have been on the phone and having those type of possibilities.
Yeah, certainly an active night and active few days as always, because you don't know how the board's going to shake out. You don't know what the opportunities are going to be. We do a lot of scenario planning, a lot of trying hypothetical. What are the decisions we might be facing? I think at the end of the day, Devin's somebody very high up on our board that we really weren't expecting to be there at 13, and so when he was there, we decided to pick it and add him to our group. We're excited.
Monty, if you don't mind me starting here, it seems like it would create a log jam at the guard position. Now you settle on that position. How do you look at that? Now that you have so many individuals playing in that position.
Yeah. No, we understand the importance of roster balance, not just across positions, but skill sets. We're at the beginning of the off season where we'll be able to continue to shake the roster. But as I've continually said in the draft is not about right now. The draft is about adding somebody to our team who can be here for a long time, and we try to draft the best player available. And we look for versatile guys. I mean, Devin Carter just checks all the boxes. If you watch the playoffs this year, there are a lot of Devin Carters out there. I'll put it that way. And so we try to find tough, physical guys who can play on both ends, make a shot, score the ball, switch, guard guys, rebound. I mean, guy like that we couldn't pass up. So we understand the rest of the roster and what we'll have to do there, but tonight was about that.
Hey Monty, just hearing over the last 2 years how Mike has kind of preached defense and versatility on that end of the floor, Devin seems to fit a lot into that. How much was Mike involved in the process, and what do you envision Devin's fit in Mike's system?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're excited to have Coach Brown here even longer. I know I haven't talked to you guys since then, but Mike and his ability to get the most out of guys, and our defense, I think the best it's been in quite a long time this year, but still not good enough. But I think Devin, certainly the defense and what he can do on that end is one of the cornerstones of his game. But I think what's appealing about him is that you can put him on the floor, and both ends he's going to contribute. And I think his talking with Mike we just gotta continue to find guys, that can play both ends and that can stick on the floor, no matter what the other team throws them.
And forgive me, we also haven't talked to you since the Malik news as well, so taking away from the draft a little bit. Malik coming back, another guard now with Devin to continue kind of building that part of the roster. I guess to tie it in, how you see the two of them coexisting and just your hot thoughts on Malik returning.
Yeah, can't get into free agency. We'll talk about that when the time comes. But obviously, Malik, somebody who's been a huge part of our success the last 2 years, and fan favorite, fantastic. You know, we all love Malik certainly, but we'll talk about other stuff when the time comes.
Monty's, Devin's only 6'2", but he has the wingspan and the rebounding numbers. Is he somebody who you guys envision maybe playing up, particularly defensively? Can he play bigger than maybe his initial size would indicate?
Yeah, for sure. I think like you mentioned, the wingspan, I think he's +7, really long. You know, at 6'2" plus without shoes, we're talking 6'3", 6'4", played both guard spots. But I think even more than that is he just plays even bigger. You know, he rebounds on both ends. He blocks shots. He's tough. He's strong. One of the best athletes in the class at the combine. I think had one of the fastest sprints and one of the best verticals. So all those things, you know, I think tie together for somebody that can guard multiple positions and guys that maybe are taller than him. I don't know if I'd say bigger. But guys that are taller, and I think that's one of the big keys of his versatility that he brings. Yeah.
Hey, Monty. Devin fits similar to some of your other first rounders, a guy that really progressed throughout his years in college. Is there something about seeing that year-to-year growth and that progress from a player that is encouraging to you?
We always want to see players improve, and we want that growth to continue. And so I think a big thing about Devin, that as we dug in, one of the best work ethics in the class, if not the best. And we all know his father played in the NBA. I'm sure he's gotten some pointers on what it takes to win, not just at the collegiate level, but here at the next level. And yeah, that's those things. We saw those improvements. I already mentioned the shooting, but you know, taking on a bigger role offensively while still being, you know, one of the best defenders in the Big East. So you know, we love to see that. We hope it continues.
Hey, Monty, Brandon Benitez here, new with Channel 13. Just a bit of a different draft setup this year. Obviously, some time now in between the rounds. What is this time, now that you have a night to kind of breathe a little bit, what does that do for you kind of going into tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely different. Usually right now, we're just screaming through the second round, trying to figure out what picks are with what teams. It's kind of nice to take a little breather, reset. You know, see what the board looks like, see what other opportunities are out there, and you know, we got to pick tomorrow, and so it'll be different. Our group's, you know, certainly going to have to learn on the fly, but you know, I think it's good for the NBA. It's good for us, and you know, we'll put a little bit trial by fire.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious about Sasha's future here, with, you know, obviously there's been varying reports out there about, you know, where he might be headed or not headed. I'm just wondering where that's at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't get into any of those rumors. I think Sasha, we saw when he got on the court last year, can make a positive impact for us. Obviously one of the best shooters, and, you know, we're hopeful that we can find a way for him to continue to do that here for us and you know, help us win games.
Monty, kind of two parts, since you can talk about Mike, maybe you elaborate just a little bit on continuing that partnership and kind of what he's brought to the organization, and sort of related, like, since you have taken care of a fair bit of your like off-season business so far with Mike and Malik and now this pick, like how this fits into the bigger picture of what you're trying to do this summer, and how much more work you feel like there is to do.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, you know, just an amazing coach. I think we've seen what he's done here the last 2 years, two of the best years in Sacramento in a long time. 94 wins, obviously breaking the playoff drought. I think Mike does a great job of you know, like I said, getting on guys and then putting his arm around them. And just the stability that he brings. He's such a great leader, great face of the organization, way more charismatic than I am up here. So you guys should be glad you get to talk to him 82 times and me 3. But, you know, he's just a great partner. And, you know, we think he's the guy to lead us where we wanna go. Yeah, as for the roster and what we got in the weeks ahead, you know, we know this is, we talk about internal, we know we gotta internally improve our players. You know, we talked about Devin and his ability, his work ethic. At the same time, external improvement, draft, trade, and free agency, and we're right smack dab in that window. We got a couple more weeks, and, you know, our goal is to come out with the best chance to get our goal. And the good thing about Sacramento is, right now, the playoffs is the goal, and anything less than that is not acceptable. So that's where we're headed.
Talked about preferring best player available in the draft, and just curious, how difficult can that be sometimes while also factoring in roster construction, or is it really just kind of as simple as that?
Yeah, I think we do a lot of preparation. I think one thing with Devin, you know, part of the draft, we do everything from medical to scouting. We know Devin has been dealing with a shoulder injury. We've been in contact with his group. So we'll get him in here, evaluate that part of it. And you know, the long term is not an issue for him, but we'll see what that is. But it's, you know, it's just such the process these days is just, you know, it's 12 months a year, and it's just so much. And you know, you see these guys play, and then you wonder, man, how would that guy fit with us? And then you go through the process, and you continue to put him into different, you know, spots on your team and envision what it's going to look like. And Devin just fit in so many ways next to so many of our guys, so really, you know, just his versatility, I think, is going to play out.
In addition to that, Monty, Devin's rebounding numbers really jump off the page, averaging, I think, 9 a game for the most recent season he played at 6'2". How unique is that skill set for him? And I guess what is your assessment of, when looking at player talent, someone like him who can get those kind of boards for you?
One great thing, and our group does a great job. We have scouts that watch these guys all the time, and they're marrying what they're seeing with their eyes with the numbers. One thing was great with the numbers: rebounding translates just about as well as any skill. So Devin will rebound in the NBA, and that's a very important skill. We're a number of defensive rebounding. That was a big part of our defensive improvement. At the same time, being a rebounder means not just rebounding. It means you're smart. It means you're active. It means you're tough. It means you can jump. It signals a bunch of other things that you can do on the court. And so guys who can rebound, guys who block shots, guys who get steals, if that lines up with what our scouts are seeing, that he can put those and manifest those onto the court in ways that help us win, that's where we feel really comfortable. And Devin was, I think, the guy in the draft that put those things together the best, and that just gives us the most confidence that he's going to continue to do it for us.
Monty, does he remind you of anyone? Like, I know he's unique to himself.
Sean, you trying to get me in trouble? I can't name NBA players, man.
maybe even a past NBA player. I don't need to know maybe one right now, but it's a unique skill set that he has. I mean, really with that rebounding, do you see him fitting a type of role similarly to maybe what you've seen in previous years?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. I think that a lot of Devin-like players played a prominent role in the playoffs, and he's just the type of guy that he's going to help you win during the 82-game regular season, which is important. But I think down the road in his career, he's going to be the type of guy that is even more important in April, May, and June, where we hope to be playing a lot. And so, you know, I just think that NBA is going towards these guys that are, look, he's going to play point guard. He's going to play some off the ball. He's going to have to guard the point of attack and guard the pick and roll. And you know, and then guys, they're going to try to get him off of him, and he's going to have to go and wreak havoc off the ball. So the more that you can just impact the game in all those different ways, I think that's the way the NBA is going, and I think Devin fits that mold.
What do you know about the shoulder injury? You kind of mentioned it.
So we know he's dealing with one. I think we got to get him in here and get with our doctors and just see what it is. But you know, when we get through the draft process, our docs are confident. We've been in touch with this team. We're confident it's not a long-term issue, but we're not sure where it'll be.
Is it enough, you know, at this point that he might not play summer league? Like, is it...
Yeah, too soon.
Okay.
Too soon. Yeah.
Monty, kind of following up on Sean asked you earlier, there was a lot of talk locally and nationally that you guys were looking to maybe trade out of that number 13 spot. did you ever receive a serious offer that you had to give, you know, consideration to, or is it just going in today and letting it fall, the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, there was, as always, lots of discussion around the pick. It's a lottery pick, you know? So there's always great interest in that. I think what ended up happening at the end of the day is we had a guy really high up on our board who I think many were predicting was gonna be a top 10 pick. That ended up there for us at 13, and when that happened, nothing else on our board beat that, and we're excited to select him.
Last one, Tony.
Monty, Devin did mention that, you know, you guys had a sit-down meeting face-to-face, you know, with the higher-ups and things like that. How did that process go, and what do you look for when you have these type of conversations, you know, before you bring them in?
I think so much of the draft process these days is getting to know these guys, and you know, I think it used to be maybe you'd see a guy once or twice, a couple games on film, but getting him in was more about the workout and seeing him on the court and see what else he can do. Now, you know, I've probably, you know, Devin's played 90 college games. Our scouts have seen scores of those, and so I think the draft process now is more about the person, the human, and what you can get to know about them, so you can see how they'll fit. We know how their game will fit, I think, pretty well. How will the person fit? And so that interview, you know, being around him in the workout, having him in our building, showing him this great facility, all those things, is as much about him getting to know us as us getting to know him. And you know, he just presents himself as what he is, which is a confident, mature young man who, you know, really his personality belies what he does on the court. So it was great. You know, myself and a lot of our staff were in there very impressed with what we got from him there. And that matched up with what we've heard about him, what we see on the court. That makes it easy.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.